What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Universim. I'm not sure how much you're paying attention to the game at the minute, but massive news has came out today regarding the game, and that is on the 22nd of this month. So that is December 2023. So 7 days time. The official alpha release is coming out 1.0, which is massive in terms of items gained. Not only is it increasing the ability to move to planets, it is actually unlimited planets, right? So at the minute we can only go to the moon, but from there on you can indeed go to multiple planets, and there's different types of planets, frozen planets, volcanic planets, etc. Really exciting stuff. The idea behind this series is I'm going to try and get to the point where we get to the moon in time to restart, so we can do. I'd like to do a fresh series on 1.0, just with the new changes and all the different things that they're doing. Also, just a tip, you can indeed register with the game as a member when you go into the loading screen in the top right hand corner. Just put your email in and a password, and you actually unlock the pyramid at the very beginning of the second age. I figured that out somewhere through the video, and I'll bring that up when I get there, but just as a reference for you, you can do that immediately if you wish. And it only requires bricks to build the pyramid, right? So that's good. So back to the game, we are putting down a few more resource gathering items. What I do realise later on is that they run out quicker than you think when you're more late game. Also, I kind of get a bit lazy with them. You'll see as I go on, I don't follow the roads as such with these, because the resources will run out. Where that light blue area is where the resources is. So when that runs out, I will just knock the building down and get not all the resources, but most of the resources back for that building. So it's not a permanent fixture, so it doesn't actually need to look pretty. But I do get... Well, you'll see as we go on, I start just plopping them down. Especially now I've realised that holding shift when you put a building down allows you to build multiples. It's a game changer for me when I'm building the oil jacks and the various other things.
With all
Okay,
of
so
these
just
power
jump forward. You can see a tornado incoming. Now, realistically, we're losing power as well, apparently. That's easily fixable as long as you've got the god power, which we have. So yeah, there's an incoming tornado. Currently paused, but all you need to do is rock up a protected dome.
I'm beginning to think we should rename this era as the Dark Ages.
You can see that the noise in the background where it's ticking is just telling me all the different buildings that are running out of power. Annoying as it is, we can ignore that because I know how to fix that, but I'm first going to stop the tornado from ripping my base apart. Well, that was uneventful, although it was an event. But yeah, I mean, it would have done damage to the town, the city, if it would have carried on, because it was going in that direction for a while. All the time it was stopped on the dome, it was going into the base. So it's better that it didn't. But of course, it didn't take that many points, right, to fix that. And now we really need to look at this electricity problem that I know I'm paying attention to, although I just got distracted. But straight over to electrify and then find some batteries, and there you go. I am definitely going to turn down the volume on that for this section because the lighting is awful to listen to when it's the same volume as the rest of the game anyway. But we'll get a lot of these batteries topped up, and it'll only be definitely me, not you, which is always nice. Okay, so something more a bit normal now, and we're looking at the garages for the vehicles. So you can see we've got 381 out of 400. So what that means is we're allowed 400 vehicles. We've got 381 nuggets, so there are some spare. You don't have to do it for everybody, but I feel like you can't decide who gets them. So I can't give it to the workers or the couriers or the various different people. So the idea is for how much it costs, and oil's really not that difficult to get. until it runs out on the planet, which I'm not entirely sure I know what you're supposed to do there. I think this is where you're supposed to move to other planets, which is what 1.0 is about, but in this version you can't do that. Whether there's some on the moon or not, I don't know. I've never been there, but we will do. Just having a quick look, I didn't realise that there was a lot of detail that's gone into this game about all these different signs and Fat Cat's restaurant, etc. It's quite clever what they've done. One thing I have noticed though is that as you get more and more into the future, it gets more and more difficult, for me to find which building I'm actually looking for. Specifically because they all look the same. They just look like skyscrapers mostly. At this stage, it's easy to remember where I put them and what they look like, but they very quickly go out of sort of view when you're looking at brand new buildings. Looking at the tech tree, we're about a third of the way into the modern age, and I'm just checking up a few things we need here. The Minister of Health is definitely important, and I believe it's the last minister we can get in the current game state. That will allow the hospitals to be built automatically, which is a game changer for me because I kept forgetting. Although I did put a lot down, but I don't think I put enough down, just to keep the sick duplicants down, and if any get infected, they should be able to get fixed up there anyway. Resource-wise and medicine-wise, we're never running out of that. I can see 1,200 there, herbs, so I don't think we're ever going to run out of the actual medication, so that's a good thing. Just going through all of the yellow achievements there, or the research there, just to make sure I'm using up my points. I went for pretty much everything apart from the fish and the food bonuses. They're the new looking modern pumps, looking very snazzy. Obviously not working at the minute because it is winter. But a lot of the buildings, you can see that the skins are really, really nice, really nicely done. And yeah, you can see there, look, Minister of Medicine is the last one we'll get. The Minister of Entertainment comes in 1.1, and the Minister of Space is just unavailable. I'm not entirely sure what they would do, because once you've built the space building, there is no others to build, unless they would automate resources from planet to planet. We'll see soon, I hope. So, back into the expedition camp, and this is the upgraded version. So as you can see now, we do have tins and tin food and cola. We actually have proper medications, and we have drills as the tools. Also, the health at the top you'll see is a much larger option, though I don't know how to make that go higher, to be honest. It might just mean taking more people. But again, I'm going to mini-game this, so we'll just run through and see how it goes, and come back as and when something goes tragically wrong or I run out of creator points, because they are actually quite low, and last time I had a lot more, and I mean that's already one person down, and that's all of our creator points gone. So it's not looking as good this one, but we'll see. It actually came down quite a while ago, and I couldn't do anything because I didn't have the creator points to do it. I was going to leave him alone, but then he decided he was going to be an arse and destroyed a couple of my buildings, a water pump and a fisherman's hut. So I decided at that point that it was worth grinding someone up for the points, so I did indeed sacrifice someone to give me the points to then fry him with a lightning bolt. And then we get our magic cube as well. Already got one in there as well, apparently. Open that now. We do. Another piece of a puzzle. This one's got a red one on it, so it's best to wait until we've fully researched it. Yeah, we need them for the unlocking the wonders of the world, as they're called. So, keeping an eye on the resources best I can. I'm going to chuck down another steel factory here. Steel mill, sorry. Down at the bottom where you've got your resources, if you put your cursor over them, it does actually tell you how many you're using. how many you require, and how many you're making. Just a nice little simple math thing. So I like to make sure that I'm making more than I'm using. Otherwise, likely there's going to be a bottleneck expected. So chuck that down, and of course, straight after, I'm chucking down the recreational, so the farms or the parks or anything that fits, shops that fits down, just to counteract the buildings that I'm putting down, because of course they will create negative. Top left hand corner, you can see that. I don't think I actually ever, apart from the very beginning when we had a problem with that, I've kept them very happy ever since, because the parks are cheap to build. It doesn't take long at all, and it's just something that's not too difficult to do. Just healing a few people up there is what I like to do, because we're playing this the nice way as such, and I'm doing that in air quotes. It's always nice to heal everybody that you can, to get your nuggets to worship you in a nice way. So if you grind people up a lot, obviously you get a lot of points doing that, but that means killing people. I'm trying to do it the nicer way, so that means that I have to be nice, and that means I cure them. When I've ever got enough creator points, I just cure the masses. Anybody that's 85 health or less gets cured, or I run out of creator points doing it. Depends which one comes first, to be honest. Right, so since the last time I spoke, it's been quite a few days in game, probably about 20. I don't know. Actually, I do know. It's about 40. And what I've done is let the game run. So if you look at the resource down at the bottom, you'll see there's been a significant upload, because obviously I haven't built any more buildings, only the ones that we're building and then working. So the gas, the glass, the steel, the plastic, the fuel, I've allowed that to just stack up. I mean, most of the way to the maximum, just so we're not, because to do the videos and play it as it was just waiting on resources to build and then waiting on the next resource to build. So I thought it's better gameplay if we can try and work towards getting this game or this series complete for the new 1.0. So again, 40-ish days have passed. Resource-wise, we're doing good, and we can now look at some of the new buildings we have unlocked in the meantime. So hopefully I can just quickly go over what was researched. You can see this large section here of quite a few things. So the oil refinement, which allows us to have the fuel, and you can see we've got plenty of fuel. That one is the upgrade for one of the buildings, as is that for the fishing port. Also an upgrade for the courier's hut, and an upgrade for the warehouse. The garage allows us to unlock the Madden garage, which doesn't do much really. This is an unlock to the hospital, and also gives you nuggets 20 additional years. The modder's hunter's hut, the modern cattle farm and farms. This one is for the weaponry, right? So you've got the barracks, the chemicals, the nitroglycerin, the heliport for the helicopters, the defense tower upgrades, and the modern bunkers, which allow you to have twice as many people. I think each one holds 64. All of them then go into the last item again to try and get the resources that I wanted to do, which was a plastic, and that's the plastic factory. And as you can see, we have processed that. Uses gas and fuel, oil. I stopped there because resource-wise, I thought the plastic was the last one for now. I'm pretty confident that it is sort of the last resource in the resources that you need to move forward. Steel and plastic coming in last. You can see a few other things there. We can choose now. So where they're grey, you can choose the next stage. So we can choose to move forward using solar panels, or we can move forward using a nuclear power plant. I, of course, will go with solar panels on this playthrough. So looking at getting down our first wonder of the world here, or legendary building, and that is the pyramid. As I said at the beginning of this episode, you can do that quite easily by registering the game or signing up for the game. I'll put a screenshot on the screen now just to show you exactly where that is. And of course with that you'll be able to do the same. So for me, I'm just going to make a slot here. I wanted to build it on a sandy bit because it's a pyramid. No real reason other than that. Strangely, it only requires 75 bricks to build it, which I know makes sense in terms of building the pyramid and it's just built with bricks, but they use sand bricks, right? But anyway. So yeah, it requires 75 bricks, and we'll have a look at that when it's complete. But in the meantime, it's going to take a long time to build because it does take 50,000 work. And this is it going down in the space that I made. Obviously, I had to wait for that building to be cleaned up, and I salvaged it because I don't want to waste the resources, although it is a little bit slower. So there you go. It's down 75 and 50,000 work, as I said. So that's going to take a while, but when it's done, we will take a look. Right, so back to research and where we left off. So we can go with the lithium battery upgrade there, the glass factory upgrade, and then we'll pick between the two decision making, and that is the 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶 or whatever the bloody hell that word says, but it's solar panels. And then we'll move over to, as you can see there, the unobtainium studdage, which allows us to actually mine the unobtainium. You can see one there in the background, the little glittery black monoliths. It allows us to mine them. I think there's about 5 or 6 on the planet, but yeah. So as you can see, the pyramid started. They've got to clear out the trees first, then they will deliver the bricks, and then they'll try and start building it. Okay, so I've just come back out of that because it's taking longer than I thought, and really I've realised that we've got a lot of creative points, so I need to get rid of a few. Now, one thing I did learn was meteor strikes do actually get you a lot of believers, but also, and you can hear the ticking there going on with the believers we're gaining, but also you actually get a meteor out of each that gives you the boxes, the goodies. So I might as well waste it on that. I think I only got 2 or 3 out there. They'll be identically on top of each other, so you can see I've just broke 2. Yeah, 2. So you get them 2 boxes out, and it just basically you're turning creator points into lucky boxes, right? And you can get duplicates out of them and various other things, so it's not a terrible idea. But also it gives you more believers, because obviously creating meteors is quite a significant, scary thing to do. So at this point, I've established that I'm getting a lot of the infected people, or the rotting people, where you have to fix the floor and get rid of the bodies. They're not being picked up quick enough. So I'm going to put down some more cemeteries around. Obviously, I have expanded quite a lot and haven't really kept up with it. So I really do need to make sure there are enough cemeteries around for the collectors to get these bodies picked up before they go manky. I think that's the nicest way to put it. So yeah, I put a couple down there because this is one of the only reasons. There is actually the other side of the planet as well, but I didn't know that at this time. I was too busy wasting time around the pyramid. But there was a new building that we actually unlocked in the time, in the clone center, and this is where you actually make duplicates. So no, they're not duplicates, they're nuggets. Again, wrong game. Anyway. So you can create your own nuggets. Now, I didn't realise, but this tower, or this building, is the tallest thing I've ever seen. It looks odd. I swear it could touch the moon if it got any taller. But yeah, when that's built, you can actually create your own nuggets using materials and send them out into the world. You can pick what they look like, what colour they are, and that's colour based on the skin tones that the game gives you, but then it gives you the colours like every colour under the rainbow as well. Naturally, I'm going to make mine blue. For like avatar characters, so that they do stand out like sore thumbs, that I know I made them as opposed to they were born. I don't know if they can breed or anything yet. We'll have to see if that does come apparent, but you can give them abilities, stats and various other things as well, but it just costs more research, or resources, sorry. Looking nice over there on the left hand side. You can see all the skyscrapers popping up there. We're definitely getting into the future. The roads actually now are proper roads, which looks really nice, and the suspension bridges also looking good. Cost quite a lot of resources, to be honest, but it's worth it, right? These are the military. Now, I don't know whether I should be knocking them down or not. All of the exiles are dead. I don't think anybody comes back. I'm just looking because I know I've unlocked the tanks and the helicopters, but I didn't know how to do it, but we will get to that later because I do it. But as it stands, I'm not sure what I need them for. but there are purposes for them, and they do protect your planet from the UFOs and stuff in the future, so it's definitely worth it. As you can see here, another person that needs rejuvenating and then picking up and putting in a graveyard. So exactly why I built them other ones, and you'll see more and more as we go along that I need to put more and more graveyards down. And just as I'm upgrading these batteries, we get the 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐍 or whatever that says. Anyway, we've unlocked the solar panels. So that's exciting, and more free energy. So in the daytime, it's guaranteed energy, right? As long as I put them like on either side of the planet, I should always be getting power. If I put them right around the planet, I'll definitely be getting power. So that's a positive, and then the wind will keep up with it. At the minute, though, I'm not really struggled. I've had a couple of blackouts, but nothing too significant, and nothing that I can't fix with a bit of lightning. On that note, though, we are at the 20-minute mark, so I'm going to call this episode here. This is a jack that's run out of resource, so I'm just going to knock it down and salvage the goods. That's what I said earlier on, wasn't it, that I'm going to do that? Anyway, so yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like. Any comments are welcome. Take care. Goodbye.